We stand at a precipice in modern masculinity, a point where the traditional forces of drive and discipline have been eroded by an insidious, silent plague, a digital age addiction to instant gratification that drains men of their very life force, leaving behind hollowed-out shells masquerading as competence. Look around you at the epidemic of low energy and pervasive mental fog that has become the default setting for millions of men, a slow burn crisis that whispers promises of comfort while stealing the fire from their souls. Hold on, before we unlock the real power of semen retention, hit that subscribe button and join our Telegram channel, link in description. We drop daily wisdom, success tools, and energy secrets only shared there. Don't watch from the sidelines, become part of the movement. But what if I told you there exists an ancient primal protocol, a dual-path journey of extreme self-mastery, that not only reverses this decline but forges a man into something profoundly potent, something genuinely dangerous in the most magnetic and productive sense of the word? This isn't about supplements or quick fixes, it's about reclaiming the two most fundamental wellsprings of male power, the sexual and the spiritual, through a voluntary confrontation with primal act. Imagine a man who walks into a room and the energy shifts not because he's loud or ostentatious, but because he carries a palpable stillness, a radiant inner pressure, a coiled potential that draws attention like gravity. This is not fantasy. This is the result of disciplined, sustained semen retention and the metabolic and psychological purification of the dry fast. The seductive lie of modernity is that you must constantly deplete yourself to spend your vital energy on fleeting pleasures, but the secret to real power, the secret of the old kings and the great warriors, was the conservation of the most sacred resource, the building of an inner reservoir. Semen retention is the ultimate conservation strategy, turning what society dismisses as mere biological waste into a potent, internalized, creative, and energetic fuel. This is not simply about not ejaculating. That is a childish understanding. This is about transmutation, the deliberate, alchemical process of taking the raw, intense energy of the sexual drive and forcing it upwards into the higher centers of the brain, into the realms of creativity, focus, and unbreakable willpower. It's the difference between a sputtering candle and a laser beam. Now couple this internal pressure with a radical, uncompromising cleansing of the dry fast. This is a deliberate, conscious refusal of both food and water, a direct dialogue with the deepest survival mechanisms of the body. Why voluntarily enter such a state of primal deprivation? Because in that acute state of lack, the body initiates a profound self-healing mechanism, consuming its own weakest, most damaged parts in a process called autophagy. The combination is explosive. You stop the outward leak of vital essence, and you ignite an inward fire of biological renewal. The drained man becomes a contained force, the fuzzy mind becomes a sharpened blade, and the constant low-level anxiety of the modern world is replaced by a stoic Gaian resolve. This protocol forces a man to confront his deepest weaknesses, his immediate cravings, his fear of discomfort, and in that confrontation, he is reborn. We are talking about a systemic shift in presence, an upgrade in your energetic operating system. Men who embark on this path report a laser-like focus for work, a profound deepening of their voice, a magnetic aura, and an astonishing boost in confidence that comes not from external validation, but from the fierce internal knowledge that they have mastered their own biology, their own most basic drives. This is your invitation to step away from the consensus of mediocrity and embrace the difficult path of power. This is not easy. It will test your commitment and your resolve in ways you cannot yet imagine, but the rewards are nothing less than a complete re-engineering of your physical, mental, and energetic self. The journey from drained to dangerous is a journey back to the primal self, a self defined by discipline, potency, and an unwavering, quiet strength. Prepare to understand the mechanics, the metaphysics, and the ultimate transformation that awaits the few men brave enough to undertake this ultimate protocol. Let us first delve deeper into the principle of semen retention, a practice rooted in Taoist and Tantric traditions, yet perfectly applicable to the demands of the 21st century competitive landscape. The male sexual fluid is metabolically rich, containing an astonishing concentration of zinc, protein, and other micronutrients. The body spends a significant amount of energy to produce it. By retaining this substance, we are not just saving a physical fluid, we are redirecting the massive metabolic effort required for its synthesis and expulsion. This conserved energy becomes immediately available to the nervous system and the endocrine system. The most critical aspect is not the fluid itself, but the sexual energy, the intense life force that fuels the desire for release. When this powerful energy is consciously held back and deliberately circulated, it begins to drive creative and intellectual pursuits. This is the transmutation process, known in various esoteric texts as Najin, or the circulation of vital essence. The retained sexual energy is felt as a deep, internal buzzing, a kind of physical heat. that can be directed through focused meditation and breathing techniques. The psychological impact is perhaps the most immediate and profound. The man who retains his seed breaks the cycle of dependence on instant physical release. He proves to himself that he is not a slave to his most basic urges. This self-mastery is the foundation of genuine confidence. In a world that celebrates consumption and immediate satisfaction, the retained man is an anomaly, a man who operates from a place of internal sufficiency, not external need. He is disciplined in the bedroom, and this discipline bleeds directly into his finances, his career, and his relationships. The increase in circulating androgens and neurotransmitters like dopamine and prolactin. Post-ejaculation is often cited as the reason for the postcoital slump. The famous refractory period retention minimizes this dramatic hormonal crash, leading to more stable energy and mood. Furthermore, the man on a retention journey develops a magnetic field of attraction. This is not mystical fluff, it is the observable result of a man who is calm, focused, and saturated with vital energy, a rare sight in the modern context. People, especially women, are instinctively drawn to this deep reservoir of power. Semen retention is therefore not an act of deprivation, but an act of profound self-respect. It is the decision to treat one's sexual essence not as a cheap commodity, but as a valuable fuel source for the creation of a powerful life. It is the ultimate energetic discipline, providing the foundational inner pressure that makes the subsequent step of the dry fast not only possible, but exponentially more effective in its regenerative effects. Now we introduce the disruptive and radical force of the dry fast, often called the king of all fasts. To refuse both food and water is to trigger the body's most intense survival and cleansing mechanisms, pushing the system to a level of internal resourcefulness that is rarely experienced. When the body is deprived of external water, it is forced to scavenge for metabolic water within its own tissues. It turns inward, attacking the weakest cells, the accumulated toxins, the damaged mitochondria, and the excess fat stores in a highly aggressive self-cannibalization. This is where autophagy reaches its peak intensity, far surpassing the levels achieved in water-only fasting. The body becomes a forensic cleanup crew, dismantling and recycling damaged components to extract every last drop of sustenance and hydration. The elimination of external water also drastically reduces the digestive and excretory workload, granting a massive metabolic vacation to the entire system. This redirected energy fuels the repair and regeneration process. The benefits are not just metabolic, they are profoundly anti-inflammatory. Dry fasting is a powerful acute stressor that forces a dramatic downregulation of systemic inflammation, often the root cause of chronic modern disease and persistent mental fog. The brain receives a major upgrade during deep fasting. The body elevates levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a powerful protein that promotes the growth of new neurons and synapses. Essentially serving as fertilizer for your brain, clarity is inevitable. Psychologically, the dry fast is a spiritual crucible. The intense thirst and hunger force a man to confront the deeply ingrained human fear of lack and the addictive relationship with comfort and instant fulfillment. There is a point during the dry fast, usually around the 36-hour mark, where the initial panic subsides and a strange, quiet euphoria takes over the senses. Sharpen the mind becomes crystalline, and the body feels lighter. A profound sense of psychological liberation is achieved. Successfully completing a dry fast, even a short 48-hour cycle, instills an indelible mark of self-trust and mastery. A man who knows he can conquer the most primal urges of hunger and thirst, knows he can conquer any challenge in the external world. He becomes fearlessly. This is the ultimate biological reset, clearing the physical and energetic stagnation that hinders the upward flow of retained sexual energy, creating a clean, high-performance biological vessel ready for the next level of focus and execution. The real magic is not in the practices in isolation, but in the symbiotic relationship between semen retention and dry fasting, a dual protocol that elevates each discipline to an entirely new plane of power. Retention builds the internal pressure, the energetic force field. Fasting provides the biological purification, the clean channel through which that pressure can effectively flow and manifest. Think of the retained energy as high-octane fuel. If you put that fuel into a dirty, clogged engine, the performance boost will be minimal. The dry fast is the intensive engine cleaning, ensuring every part of your system is operating at peak efficiency. Furthermore, the hormonal changes induced by both practices complement each other dramatically. Fasting is known to temporarily elevate growth hormone and testosterone levels, both of which are also positively influenced by sustained retention. This combined hormonal surge creates an environment of anabolism within a state of acute cleansing, a paradoxical yet potent state where the body is aggressively recycling the old while simultaneously preparing to build back stronger. The psychological resilience required for the dry fast is immensely aided by the existing cell control established through semen retention. The man who has mastered his sexual impulses finds the mastery of his appetite a difficult but familiar challenge. This protocol forces a man into radical honesty about his weaknesses. His retention streak is challenged by his sexual mind. His fast is challenged by his addictive eating habits. He sees his true self in the crucible of his own discipline. The feeling of being dangerous is a direct result of this accumulated self-mastery. It is the unshakable inner knowing that your mind controls your body, your impulses do not control you. This is the definition of true personal power. The man who embodies this energy becomes magnetic, not because of external efforts, but because his internal state is one of fierce, quiet alignment. He vibrates at a higher frequency, his focus is piercing, his word is his bond. This protocol is the blueprint for creating a high-performance, high-integrity masculine presence, a necessary antidote to the softness and fragmentation that characterize so much of the modern male experience. What does this transformation look like in the real world? It is visible in the way the transformed man executes his work plan. A laser-like focus for hours on end, replacing the habitual procrastination and distraction. It is audible in the deepening and authoritative resonance of his voice, an unconscious marker of increased internal confidence and a more dominant, energetic presence. It is felt in his relationships, a profound shift from needy, desperate energy to a calm, secure, and generous presence. He gives from a place of abundance because he has created an abundance of internal energy. The anxiety that once plagued him, the fear of the future, the attachment to outcomes begins to dissolve, replaced by an unwavering trust in his own capacity for consistent, disciplined effort. This is the shift from being merely reactive to being powerfully proactive. He is no longer waiting for life to happen to him. He is the conscious architect of his own reality, leveraging his conserved and purified energy. The concept of sovereignty becomes real, not an abstract ideal, but a lived experience. He is the master of his inner world, his mind, his body, and his most potent life force. This sovereignty is inherently magnetic and respectable. This entire journey is a process of consciously choosing the difficult path over the easy. 1. Choosing self-conquest over self-indulgence and choosing long-term potentiation over short-term pleasure. The man who completes his protocol steps out of the shadow of his former self, the drained, anxious, distracted version, and into the full, radiant light of his potential. He is focused, fueled, and purified. If this video gave you real value, tap the thanks button. Your support helps me keep creating deeper content like this. Every thanks is a spark that keeps this mission alive. Your support means more than you know. This is not a lifestyle for the faint of heart. It is a warrior's path, a protocol reserved for men who have reached a point of absolute dissatisfaction with their current level of performance and are willing to pay the price for true power. The final verdict is simple. The man who masters his vital essence and purifies his vessel becomes an unstoppable force, not because of what he takes from the world, but because of the incredible power he has chosen to build and contain within himself. The drained man is dead. Long live the truly dangerous man.